Hi, welcome to this new session that is about basics of human resource management. So we're going to cover the functions and roles of human resource management, and this will help you how to be good, how to perform good by understanding those functions and roles in the HR profession. So let's begin. Now, what is in human resource management and what is its role? As we have talked about in the first session as well, the human resource management is an ability to perform the task and manage people efficiently and most effectively. But for that reason, we have to play one of the important roles to make people perform efficiently. If any organization is not playing proper role, if not understanding their proper role, they won't be able to make employees perform better. So for that reason, in this session, you will learn how to manage people effectively and how to perform the best role that is aligned with the strategies of the company. So if you see the first one, which I have written there, human resource management, managing people effectively. So when I say managing people effectively, is that we are supposed to utilize those people as per the demands of the organization, as per the objectives of an organization, because there are certain things going on in the minds of those top people sitting over there, and they have proper coordination with human resource department. But human resource department is supposed to identify that role, that these are the categories, these are the things, these are activities by which they will make employees perform effectively, and they are supposed to manage them effectively. So for that reason, the role and the function of human resource management is very important in any of the organization around the world. Now, the most important thing is the role. Now, what is the role of human resource management in the organization? And this is something that you have to learn. When you are having any position, you're supposed to learn what are those roles, because you are leader of the organization, you are manager of human resource department, and you are supposed to play that role that benefits the employees, that benefits the organization. And how it's going to benefit the organization when you try to put everything as per employees concerns, as per employees happiness, as per employees talent, as per employees capability, and you make them to perform effectively. That will definitely going to add into the organizational objectives. So this is what you have to learn about the role of human resource management. So one of the role, if you see, that is listed there as HR is always facilitating the employees in the organization. So your role is facilitator. So when we say what is the facilitation role of any manager, is to listen them, to keep them comfortable, to support them, to provide them the required tools they need in the organization. And this only possible when you're having meetings with them. You can have one-on-one meeting with them, you can have a group meeting, you can have company meetings, you can have all board of directors meeting where you have to pitch in ideas of those roles that you want to conduct. You want to put something in being approval from the top head as well, because there's some of the things like top training you have identified, and you cannot give just a training to the employees unless you get approval from the top management. But the role of facilitation is that you keep identifying how do you facilitate them, how do you make people perform better, how you talk to them. So there are the stress levels of employees, there are some of the concerns of employees, there are some of the problems of employees, there are some of the demotivation levels of the employees. So you as a human resource manager play a role to be facilitator, to walk into them, listen them, and find out the things that your company can do, and you must do that. And the things which you cannot do, no problem, you have to communicate so properly that people should understand that this thing is not possible. So you kind of create a facilitative platform in the organization, a kind of parental support, or the paternalistic support, you can call it, or a facilitative support to the employees, a collaborative support to those employees. and then employees will be highly motivated and will be ready to be managed effectively and ready to perform better for what reason you have hired them. Once you have played this role, we are supposed to encourage them. We are supposed to uh, help them in the activities they do have. How can I encourage them? There might be different forms of encouragement. One is that somebody's doing good, you appreciate, you encourage that person. And sometimes it happens somebody's not performing good, but you can encourage them that you can perform better. You can do it. Let me help you in this tool. Let me help you in this support. So you can encourage them that way. So you helping your employees, you encouraging your employees, supporting your employees. And if you see I've put in the red color this font size, sometime you got to be situational manager as well. Now this is learning for yourself. All of the top managers, you are supposed to be good manager. Definitely, there's no question about that. But you got to be situational manager sometime. Now this happens when you bring a change thing in the company. This happens when employees are not happy and you want to make them happy. They're angry. You got to be patient. You got to identify the situation. You deal accordingly with them. There are some of the situations happening. For example, some employees have left and you don't have financial support to hire that person so quickly. So that's a situation where you will identify somebody within the available group, within the available people, within the slot. You'll find somebody and put that person into that task. And you only know that how that person could be the right person because you manage that situation so efficiently. Or if not, then you yourself with the group of other people, you're going to manage that situation. This happened, somebody left, this happened, somebody some having some conflicts. For example, there are some of the conflicts happening, professional conflicts, whatever the conflicts could be in the competency level. So you just step in as a mediation, as a facilitator, as an encouraging, as a situational manager as well, to maneuver that situation at that time. So there might be hundreds of things which you might have heard about company. Legal situations, professional situations, managerial situations, organizational situations. So how do you deal with them? When I say organizational situations, like something that whole organization is being affected. So you have to manage that situation. How do you encourage people? I mean, for example, you want to get work done through other people and people not cooperating with you. This is an organizational situation. People not cooperating with you. But if people not cooperating with you, what you're supposed to do? You have to initiate some of these things which I have just said. Either you appreciate them, encourage them, request them, help them, be situational manager, walk to them and ask them that this task is supposed to be done. So I need your help. I would like to put an example over here. In some of the organizations, imagine you are a junior manager and you want to deal with a senior person who's not cooperating with you. What you will do? So if any senior person in the organization who's not cooperating with you, but you are the authority, how you'll make that person to cooperate with you? I mean, if you use a policy, if you use oh, this is a policy you're supposed to do, or you got to be a little aggressive, that person will perform, there's no doubt. But there's a way that you walk into that person and say, excuse me, hello, Mr. John. uh, I have a lot of respect for you. You are a really senior person. I need your help. I really need your help in this situation. Would you like to help me and perform this task? I really appreciate that. Wonderful. This thing will motivate that employee 100%, and that employee who was not cooperating with you before will 100% be ready to cooperate with you, because the way you maneuvered that situation with your graceful attitude you shown to that person. So these are situations, managerial situations, which you have to learn. So you learn it how you play a graceful attitude, which I always say that you always maintain this every time in the organization. But sometimes they should be effectively utilized because of the seniority level, of the professional level, of some of the people whom you think will be managed this way. So you have to learn that way. So this particular diploma which we're talking about, you will learn, and you're learning that how to deal with people, how to talk to them, how to get work done through them, how to how to make your company moving in the right direction, taking all people together with you. Everything will be positive in the organization. And the function, if you see, I have written in the fifth point function, recruitment, selection, negotiation with the trade unions. Uh, there are loads of functions of human resource management, uh, but the but if we start from the main functions, from recruitment analysis, from need for people, then recruitment selection, then training development, then compensation benefits, then performance appraisal, then demotion or promotion. So this whole cycle of human resource management is actually actually these are the functions of human resource management, which your manager, as a manager, you got to be very effective and play the proper role into this one. For example, number one, which I said, need for employment, how many employees you need. So HR is supposed to play a role of identifying the need of the people, which we already know according to the job descriptions and the specifications and all that. But when it comes to the selection process, that's a very critical role that HR is supposed to play in this particular function. And that critical role is that you have to hire, you have to induct the talented people, promising people, encouraged people, talented people for the organization who can support you in achieving the objectives of the company. So that's one of the role that you have to play. And this is the reason that some people say some bad companies. There are no bad companies, but companies become bad when the role of HR manager is not positive, is not productive, is not professional. For example, there are many leaders, they always say that people leave people, they don't leave organizations. So when people leaving people, what do you mean? What was the role of that person that people left? Because there was non-professionalism over there. Because there might be any troubles for that. Why people leave people? People should leave organizations. Why they leave people? What's the problem with the people? So there might be two situations in this one. That you leave people because you do not want to work with them. And the other situation is that you leave because they made you to leave or because of their behavior. So in both cases, because you're learning in this diploma, you're learning both excuse, both patterns, both ways. It's not about that sometimes you don't want to work with people. So find out the reasons why you don't want to work with people. So if you try to find out why people are leaving in the exit interviews or in the meetings with them, you have listed down some concerns why people leaving, and you try to cover them up for you employees. Next time you're not going to make the same mistake. So you learn those things in the organization. And of course, fair performance appraisal is one of the most important thing that you have to maintain in the organization. What do you mean by fair performance appraisal? I mean, you give an equal opportunity to people. You have to be transparent into that. You must have very accurate policy that has been properly communicated to employees, and you are giving fair a performance appraisal that somebody who performs this has been given this. Somebody who did not perform this has not been given this. So we have to find out that who is performing better. So sometimes, some people, always, when you don't give this criteria, some organization, they did I know one of the organization, they did one mistake, is that they didn't properly communicate the criteria they had. So, and they did not let people know that on what basis you are not given a fair, or not given the good appraisal or bad appraisal. So some people who did not get the good appraisal, they were complaining a lot, because they say, what's the criteria? So what was the criteria? What was the basis for this one? So people have lots of questions about that. Then the company started telling them this happened, this reason. So when people started getting this notice, this getting this understanding that this is the criteria. So criteria is kind of mirror for the people, that look, if you perform this way, you will get the fair appraisal, you will get the good appraisal. But if you're not giving them criteria, it means you're not fair in appraisal. You give them criteria, you give them timeline, you have to be very clear into that all, and the people start performing as per their criteria. So if anybody who's getting low performance appraisal, that person even will accept, because that person could not comply or perform as per designated criteria given by the company. So if you have such things, then this is the main role of human resource management, which will help employees, which will keep employees motivated. But if this role, let's suppose they don't have this function, they don't have this role, then everybody will be showing their concerns, and that will be a difficult situation for the organization. And also within that, there's one other important aspect which you have to learn, is that within that, if somebody who could not perform as per criteria, but the person is very positive, he has a very positive attitude towards the organizational activities, then you decide, you play one more role as an HR person to coach that person, to help that person, to train that person, because next time he will not repeat the same mistake, and he wants to perform better. For that reason, he wants to have a clear understanding of that criteria. So there are many roles of human resource management, many functions of human resource management in the organization that we have to learn and we have to apply. So for that reason, this session is telling you about the functions and roles. There are basics ones, but of course there are some of the advanced level which I have just talked about. So imagine, where are you working? Some of you might be working, those who are in this session. You might be working in different organizations. Imagine when you walk into your organizations tomorrow and see yourself around. Who's good? What HR is saying? What management is talking about? What management is demanding from us? How I should work? Where I should go for the help? You will see lots of things around you. And then you see what are things you have to offer to the company. Are you really complying everything? Or are you just complaining everything? So when you're complying everything in the organization, you become very good employee in the organization. When you're complaining different things, then you have to find answers from the HR not only, but you have to answer yourself as well why you're complaining. And based on that, the HR again will play a role of mediator, will play a role of supportive, cooperative with you to make you understand what is required by the organization. Based on this one, we got to go to the next slide. And this I have taken from the this AIHR, and these are just general things I wanted that you should not miss out these things. There's some of the aspects which you can see they have mentioned here. So these are all modern trends, current trends, which we are talking about the human resource and the key HR functions. So there are many functions actually, but these are some of the functions which you will see, and you can see how they are being performed. Most of the functions which I have talked about, they can overlap with few of the things. So this was just for reference purpose. Now here we go. This is an important thing. Some key core behaviors of HR. This is the source from CIPD, but there are many other things which I have not added over here. I just added some of them from the HR CIPD, but some of them I have added myself as well. So we talk about that should be ethical, professional, and managerial practices. That should be ethical, professional, and managerial practices. What do we mean by that? When we say ethical, we always see that should be highest person, that we listen them, we maintain the fair justice with everybody, and we give them equal opportunities to all employees, and we are supposed to answer everything that employees are asking, and we have to maintain positive approach to the employees as well, and we should not ask them to do something which is unethical, against of ethical standards, against the conduct of the business, a fair conduct of the business. We have to teach employees that they should be fair. They should be fair with the customers they're talking to. They should be fair with the employees they're talking to. They should be fair, performance in the task they are performing to. So these are some of the ethical things which make you to adopt as managerial practices as well. And then the second one is most important, that I always love, that is a professional attitude. You got to be very professional attitude. Have you ever imagined that I quoted this thing earlier as well, that if you see, oh, somebody is very professional, and on what basis you decide that person is good? On what basis that person is liked by everyone? What is the good thing in that person that everybody likes him or everybody respects him? So you try to list down those things, what he's doing. Is he because of talent, because of his respect behavior, because of his positive attitude, because of his fair feeling attitude, because of his all justice level attitude he has in the organization? What the best things he's doing? So that's most ethical, most professional in the organization. And when we talk about the organizational behavior, we say behavior of the employees to the organization. So the role of HR is the organizational behavior to the employees, behavior of the organization to the employees is the role of HR. But the organizational behavior is the behavior of employees to the organization. The way you accept work, the way you take your organization seriously, the way you like your task, the way you be spokesperson of your company, the way you present the image of your company. So your behavior is positive in the company. And then if you see the next one, respecting people, working inclusively. Inclusive, we already talked about a lot about this one. This inclusive, there is also a session coming up in the few days. You will see that that's also there, inclusiveness we talk about. But respecting people, what do you mean respecting people? You know what? Respect is not demanded. It is commanded. So you respect them. But of course, there are many people, they always respect the human resource department, because that department is a really important one. But even then, some people don't respect you. The spark, the respect level of the HR department that you have, that you keep respecting them. And implies one day they will change their attitude towards HR as well. So you respect people. Respect is one of the top recognition that can make employees very happy and very participant in the organization. And some of the things you got to learn is about the situational decision making and exposure. So this is one of the function of human resource management, that in certain situations you have to be very accurate in the decisions you take it. Some of the decision, for example, some people are not happy with employees. So employees are a bit aggressive, they don't like, so you have to explain that all in detail to them. You have to give them proper criteria and tell them that, see, this is what our organization offers you. If you're having problems and everything, we are here to help you. But if you're demanding too much, which is not compliant with our organizational policies, we sorry about that. We can't really do anything about that. So people will be happy with that. So these are some of the situations. Now these all points are not from CIP, but some of the points I have added, some of the task, some of the points from CIPD as well. Let's go to the next slide. Now this is one of the slides that you would learn about the personnel management and the human resource management functions. These are main functions of hiring, training, and utilizing and promotions in the organization. But if you see that the wage might be agreed in advance, but effort is not. So this is one philosopher has said, and need for control and consent cooperation to convert labor power into work done. This also another philosopher has said. But employees' income identity, self-worth, okay, managers, agent of employers, this another author has said. What did you learn from this one? This one is talking about the importance and focus of the facilities of the roles of human resource management. If you say that the wage might be agreed in advance, what's the role of human resource management to negotiate the wage with the employee at the time of hiring? If you see second point, need for control and consent cooperation to convert labor power into work done. This is one of the highest level of negotiation, that you're not supposed to agree everything what the union is talking to you. You're not supposed to agree everything what employees are talking to you, but you got to be very rational and very good spokesperson of of an organization, where you make other employees and union people as well to make them agree on the organizational context things as well. So it means that you don't agree, you sit with them, you talk to them, okay, your concerns, we listen to you, but these are concerns, we can't do anything, but these are concerns we can do, so we will help you. But there are certain things which you have to agree, which organization demands from you. So it's a give and take. So if you give proper understanding to the employees and the unions, that this is kind of two-way traffic. It's not about everything that we accept, we whatever you say we'll accept, but this is two. We will work on some of things, we look into, but there are certain things that you have to agree on that as well. And this is very interesting. Armstrong is 1989. He said the manager's agent of the employer. And this is positive thing. I don't see it's negativity, because that's the job. I'm being hired in the organization. You're a manager, you're dealing with your people. Manager is what he manages, so you're supposed to be there to manage things. So you're an agent, or you are a representative, you are a spokesperson, whatever that you support. So your choice should be first your company. But I'm not saying that first your company you can be involved in the unethical conducts of your business. We're not talking about that. But you support organization, you support save the money of the organization, you have proper negotiation skills to support your company, and then of course you're supposed to negotiate with management as well to support employees sometime. So it's a give and take on both sides you have to play. And then if it's employee relationship trends, that's a really important one. We always talk about when we see the relationships. Now, enhancing skills is one of the employees demand actually, and organization always helping them. So you have to manage people effectively into utilizing them. This is the definition of human resource that we have covered in the first session as well. But the second one is really interesting, caring and supporting employees' wellness and tools that we provide to them. Normally, the relation between employee and employer is the work productivity. And we need to work on the work productivity rather than the uh, just the training of the employees and everything. We have to work productivity relationship. You tell them this is what you've been hired, and this is what you will get, and this is what we expect from you. Professional, very professional, attitude, transparent, with everybody. Professional attitude to the employees. Look at this slide that's teaching you about HRM had to sell itself as something different to PM. So this is a discussion about the personnel management and human resource management as well. Not comply as a new sign. This is an old definition, and they have just discussed about this, what is supposed to be. But the human resource managing effectively, in the organization, when we say corporate human resource management, is actually the modern trends are in the minds of the managers who are dealing in a modern ways in the organizations, covering the current trends of employment as well. So we talked about the work-life balance and other things like that. The second point, if you see, improve organizational performance by improving the way people are managed and moving away from the control of commitment and motivation. This another philosopher has said this thing. But the organizational performance can be improved when we provide employees some sort of support in training and coaching. And this can only be done to the people who are interested. You cannot provide such support to everybody who is not interested. Because those who are interested, they want to learn, they will definitely do it 100% properly. But those who are not interested, they will take it a bit casual as well. And the last point, if you see employee commitment and employer commitment, you see this we talked about the boss and work and organization. You have to be committed with your work. You have to be committed with your organization. When I say you are committed with your work, you perform your task on the time. When I say got to be committed with the organization, so you have to respect your organization. You have to accept your organization. When I say you got to be committed with your boss, it means you listen, you carry on the orders of the boss, you listen the orders of the boss. And the employer commitment is really interesting to employee, to work, and to organization. They should be committed to employee, career building of that employee, support to that employee, help to that employee. And of course you expect good things from that employee. You got a clarity to them and tell them that these are the expectations from you, that we want you to perform better. So that's why this was a little difference between the human resource management and of course the there was, I told you this was a little thing about the personnel management we used to talk in 1950s and 80s and 60s and 70s and all that. But when the magnitude of the companies expanded, so we started talking about human resource management. We thought that it's kind of resource that's the most important in the organization. These are some of the principles of human resource management and some functions of corporate HRM. And this is what we started the first slide about the need for employment, recruitment, selection, training, development, and compensation, promotion, demotion, and all aspects of labor management linked to the organization's core strategy. Now, when I say need for employment, it means how many employees you need, how many employees we need. We need two, so we need two. We need three, we need three. So need for employment is supposed to be. Some of the companies, they need three, they hire only two. So that's going to affect the organization. So your role as an HR is not good in that way. So need for employment, you need people. What people you need, you have to explore what descriptions, specifications you need, and how many number of employees you need. So you hire them. And then this comes to the next one, that's recruitment selection. That's the announcement. Recruitment is an announcement of the job. Selection is proper selection in the organization, that you have to select the best person whom you think he can perform better in the organization based on all the criteria, selection criteria you do have. That selection criteria is as per ethics, professionalism, and as per equal opportunities to everybody. That you have to maintain that way. And the third one, if you see training, development, and coaching, this is something. Training is a formalized kind of training that you go in the session, like you give training to the people. And coaching is something that you have to give them guidelines on the machines, on the side one. But mentoring is a very important one, because when a junior people are learning from the senior people, so junior person is attached with the senior person to get an exposure experience of that senior person, so he's being mentored that way. For example, is accounts assistant person, he's working with the accountant, the senior person, so he is learning so many things from the senior accountant. A similar goes with the HR manager, the junior HR manager learning from the senior HR manager, because the way he motivates people, the way he talks to people, the way he gives training to the people, the way he presents HR department or the company in the meetings. So you learn from them, and then when you become HR manager, you try to support, you try to do the same thing, you try to support same thing to the management. And once this all done, then we'll go with the comp and benefits, compensation and benefits, and performance management. You see now you see that you hired, you need one person, for example, then you selected that person because now the person is very good, and you orientate and say, train that person. Now you have to think how that person is performing good, you change the compensation of that person. And if not performing good, you cannot go to the next step, that's a promotion. Because that promotion, a demotion, promotion somebody who's doing good, a demotion somebody not going to punish that person is demotion, a stage later. And termination, of course, you have to tell that person that that person not required. I will also put the another video in this particular one, that's about uh, the whole HR process and functions into this one as well. You will learn that. And then when we say all aspects of labor management linked to organizations' core strategy, there's no doubt about all of the things they are related with this one. And then if you see, the organization needs to be flexible to respond to market. Example, a focus on the value of the job. You have to see value of the job. You see around. I mean, you see, the first and foremost role of human resource management is that you have to be very cautious what's happening around you. You see what are the new trends of job requirement, what are the new trends of recruitment, what are the new demands of the labor market, what are the new perks that you provide to them. So you are supposed to learn the value of the job, and then you offer the same value to them. And you see, people are the asset to the development and utilized, not cost of managed. Example, Steve Jobs. Of course, you have to give people an opportunity. You have to hire good people. Then don't tell them what to do. They will tell you what to do, because you're already paying them so much, because you understood these people can give you the best business. And then, of course, this goes with the last point. If you see, very often you see that with the concerns about quality of the product, service, of the workforce, yeah, the employees is customers. So employees, if you really want to care your customers, you start caring about your employees. That you might have heard about this very common sentence. The reason of that, the caring employees who can care the customers, is because you don't meet with customers very often. You meet with your employees, and you keep employees happy, excited. The same excited employees will actually bring more customers. So this is give and take. And this is more for your understanding about the personnel management and the human resource management. This is just for your guideline for extra resources for you, extra notes for you. And if you see the all of these, if I take the first one, let's discuss the first one just for an example. Beliefs and assumptions, what we think in the PM, focus on the rules, procedures, customs, and practices. And what we do in the human resource management resource give competitive edge and a shared interest as well. So it's still there. We do have rules in human resource management. We, of course, we must have the policies and everything, but we are more focused on the shared interest over there. That we talked about the EDI, that we inclusiveness, and we work on the competitive edge of those employees. We work on the career development of those employees. We work on the capacity building of an organization. So that's why this is just one example for you so that you can understand how these things are practiced in the organization. If I take one more, and if you see the strategic qualities of that, HR decisions central to business strategy. So all of the HR strategies are aligned with the business strategies of the company. So that's why we always talk about they are the strategic partners of the company. And then you see the key managers, you see the personal specialists as well, line managers, the driver of the HR policies. Of course the policies there, but this is debatable. We need some specialists, and we also need some journalists as well. So that was a great example of the McKinsey long time ago. The journalist, uh, when you can't afford to have the specialists, you have some journalists which are very good. They can perform in some other departments as well. But the specialists, yeah, it's today's age of specialization. So you need some specialist people in the organization, especially with when we talk about the AI related artificial intelligence. These things are required, the specialist people, because you are good in one domain and I need to hire you for that domain, and you will be highly motivated. You are having employment, so I don't want to hire the people who are doing employment plus underemployment. So what I'm saying, in this employment you give the same job the person who qualifies for this one. Underemployment is that person is doing a job, uh, uh, something else that he has got the education. So for example, let's suppose he's an MBA, and he's doing a job of the IT maybe. So that's an underemployment, but some people utilize them. It depends on the company. The top companies, they don't do that. Some companies, they want to save money, they might be doing these all things. And yes, of course, we talked about indirect communication through unions and direct communication with employees. So this is also debatable, that we should have just a communication with employees properly. Great. What is the culture and what HR should do to manage employees effectively? You see, the number one is a culture of an organization is its personality and character. Wow, that's good. So you have to learn that you have to, for example, if you see your own personality and you say that you are very good, why you're very good? Because you're a very respecting person, you are having very positive attitude, you are working for the company, you are so ethical, you're so professional. If you got the same thing from the HR managers for all employees, it shows the great personality of that company, isn't it? And look at the second one. Let's talk about organizational culture is made up of shared values, beliefs, assumptions. That's a very common definition we always talk about. Shared values, shared goals, shared concerns, shared appreciations, shared concerns. Most important, shared concerns more important. I believe that, because then you care your people, you care organization, you care department, you care the objectives as well. And then we have key factors in the organization. So culture, yeah, history of the environment, of course, that works. That what happened in previous years, what happened last year, what you happen right now. So you have to go along with those positive things. If you're not changing things every year, So you're not utilizing things properly. So every year you have to see what happened in the last year. What were the positive things that people were very happy, and what things were not positive, and we need to figure out why they were not good and how can we make them good. So in this way you can create the best culture, and through that best culture you can manage employees effectively. This is an extra slide I have put for your understanding. I will take the first one. It's very often difficult to specify what exactly drives a particular culture. This is debatable. We can see, but easier to observe its effects. For example, the culture of an informal small software company may be quite different from that. Of course, now this is not the comparison we are talking about. We cannot compare small company with some of the top companies and all that. Culture, let's try to understand some of the basic things of culture. Those norms are the traditions, are the beliefs which you built in the organization. They have a purpose. The purpose of building those norms is actually creating comfortable environment. If you see me, if you see yourself, I mean, if for example, I'm putting an example, if I'm a boss in the company, all of people are watching you so that you have to perform better. The way, if you are most ethical conduct of business you are showing to them, and you're serious about that, and you're giving respect to them, and you're giving them deserving situation whatever they do have, they will turn to be the same what you expect from them. In this way, career, for example, supporting culture, so the senior people helping junior people. Senior people are very supportive of the junior people, and when senior people will retire, these junior people will become senior people. The same attitude will be transferred, will be transmitted, transition to the other juniors as well. So this will be kind of legacy which will continue. So you build that good culture. So people say, oh, that company has a great culture. What do you mean by that culture? What do you mean? The people are happy, the facilities are very good, there's no politics over there, there's a professional environment there. Yeah, it is. Oh, then it's a great culture. That's a culture we're talking about in this particular session. That is the particular role of human resource management that has. Is it difficult? I ask you a question. Is it difficult to identify which are the best things to build a great culture in the organization? Why Google is Google? Why Microsoft is Microsoft? Why top companies are top companies? See, you see loads of things they do have. They have proper understanding of employees, they have proper behavior to employees, they have proper facilities for those employees, there's a proper employee voice established in those companies, the proper support in those companies. There's a great culture. And of course there are many examples. You can quote the similar one which I have given you. And then there's some common factors that affect the culture. So we have to see the locations. For example, you have a head office in New York, and then you have a decentralized center in Tokyo. So you can imagine the culture in New York and culture in Tokyo might be different. Though we understand nowadays we're living in the diversified world, and it's anything that happens in New York, that happens in Tokyo, that happens in London, that happens in Sao Paulo. I mean, all of these things. We are living in international internet age, AI age, and so close because of this IT. We're so close to all culture. So it's the same thing. But still, there are certain things dealing with customers, dealing with regional vicinities, about managing people, their sensitivities, about their values. When we talk about the culture, there are some of the things they do have professional values. There are some of the things, they're organizational values. For example, the American company has decentralized centers in Tokyo, so that has organizational values. They have taken from America. But then there are some of the professional values itself. Those people from Japan, they're working in that company, and then some cultural values. There are some regional values as well. So if you talk about the geographic locations of those all organizations, they have to be careful how they're dealing when they go to other organizations as well. So what you're learning over here is that the accept the culture, learn. When you learn to, for example, you started your company in China or Japan, you have to see what is the culture of your company, and then what's the culture of that country, what's the culture of those people, how you deal that. So you start respecting your culture, start respecting their culture, start respecting your company policies, and you start respecting the country policies, where you combine this all, and then you will see what are the benefits for that company. So company can move into the right direction because you care those people over there, and you care the objectivity of your company. So this will continue. And there are many other things which are mentioned about the of course, the history of that company, and the size of the company, the magnitude of the company, which I would say. So that will all be there. And then the uh, number number eighth one, I'm really interested that you should learn, is the management, the leadership styles adopted. So there's a management style in, if you, as I just gave an example, that your company head office in USA, in New York, and then you have another decentralized center in Tokyo. So which leadership style you will have? Maybe in America you're having business style leadership, or maybe in Japan we are having paternalistic leadership. Maybe professional leadership, maybe just business. It's a business. We hire you for the work, you work. But maybe in some countries they go extra mile. We hire you for the work, but we'll support you as well. So there are different aspects for that one. Why I need to hire a person, then I provide training to that person. Why not I should hire a person who's already trained, so I don't need to spend more money on that. So these are some of the common factors I thought I should bring to you so that you can learn, because you're learning in this professional diploma. In every session you are learning some of the things which will help you to be a professional person in corporate life. And then we reach to the end of this slide, and that's about the be a smart HR professional, understand HR functions and roles that we have all talked about. So let me conclude of this all what you have learned. There might be hundreds of functions and roles which you have heard about, but I have just mentioned the things which are current trends in the organization, so that you can see these roles, you can learn these functions, and then apply in your life. When you walk into an organization, you see that how you carry yourself, how you carry the knowledge, information you do have, so that you can turn to be the best employee if you are just an employee, or turn to be the best HR manager, or if you're having any managerial or leadership role into that. So in this way, congratulations for you that you have completed the second one, that was about the basics of human resource management functions and roles. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this session. I look forward to seeing you soon in the next session.